And we welcome you inside the McCarthy Athletic Center now. They're announcing the starting lineups. Inside here, they're starting with Gonzaga. Of course, we'll start with Southern Utah, the road team. Played in the Summit League a year ago, now in the Big Sky. We take a look at their starting lineups. Jackson Stevenette, Wade Colley, Damon Heyer, Jaron Jeffrey, and Jason Cheeseman. They've got some veterans, some seniors on this team, but boy, it really drops off. They're awfully young after that.
Well, they have two guys that are returning starters in Stevenette and Hewer. After that, it's guys who didn't play a lot of minutes last year. So for those guys, it's an opportunity early in the season to get their feet wet and really prove to the first-year coach that they've got what it takes to play big minutes this season.
Yeah, their head coach, Nick Robinson, played at Stanford. He's in his first season as the head coach, as Dan said, at Southern Utah. I'm sure you two remember Nick Robinson. This team was 14-17 a year ago, 8-10 in the Summit League. And now the starters for Gonzaga look like this. Pangos, Bell Jr., the sophomore guards for head coach Mark Few, Guy Landry Eddy, a senior, Elias Harris, a senior, Sam Dower, the junior, getting the start at the 5 position. Richard, this has been called guard U at time. It kind of overshadows the great post players. And once again, we've kind of got a team. All this talk about these great guards, but the strength of this core may be the post players.
Well, I think it's because consistently GU's had great guards, and those bigs have come and gone. But we go back to history of this program, the best teams they've had have had that balance inside, outside. And I think this team has a lot of those characteristics as well.
And Dan, I know you had some players when you played here, you could go inside out. Mark Few's got those guys again.
Well, the best teams have a great combination of inside and outside scoring. But you've got to have guys, when it comes to crunch time, that can create their own shot, but more importantly, make their own shot.
Southern Utah winning the tip, and they'll start us on offense. This is Damon Heyer. His shot attempt for 3 is short, cleared by Harris. And back comes Kevin Pangos. Transition 3, that one's off. May have been touched by the defender. Damon Heyer, a senior out of Townsville, Australia, number 3. Here's a quick shot by Colley, that's off. And Eddy the rebound. Here's Dower's first touch. Spins, left hand, rolls off. And rebounded by Jeffrey.
A great early possession right there. Sam had great patience on the low block, let that semi-double team clear, and went to work, just couldn't finish the shot.
This is Chessman. Jump hook, baseline, our first bucket.
Chessman can play, and he's going to take it right at Dower. Whoever's guarding him has good size, 6'11", 250 pounds. Honorable mention all-league last year in junior college. Big things expected from him from that staff at Southern Utah.
Pangos left-hand lay-in. Ties us at 2.
That's a great job of just coming off that ball screen, probing, seeing if the guard or the big is truly going to hedge, turn the corner, get to the basket.
This is Stevenette driving on Eddy, got into the lane, shot off, wild one. Harris had the rebound. Jeffrey picked it up, but then traveled.
And expect some sloppiness, fellas, offensively for Southern Utah. Didn't have an exhibition game this year or scrimmage. Just focused on themselves, and with the new staff, you can understand why. But you can see right away, not as organized offensively as you might see GU here early in the game after playing an exhibition against Texas down in Colorado, and obviously against Nazarene, the game we called a couple weeks ago.
What I'm noticing right away is the Thunderbirds are matching Gonzaga's energy. This is Gonzaga's home opener, and right now the energy is even, it seems to me.
Well, Coach Robinson, when he was at Stanford, was as hard-nosed a guy as I played against in college. Played against him twice down in Oakland. And that
look at him now. Look at him. He looks intense.
Aging better than I am, that's for sure, too. But that you can, you know, teams.
He's really 52. Pangos for 3.
You know, teams take the characteristic of their staff and their head coach, and you see it right away, like you said, Chris. 31, buddy, 31, come on.
Sorry for going there so early in the game. Heyer lost the handle, tipped around by Jeffrey. Loose ball, picked up by Colley. He'll shoot it from beyond the elbow, and it's a 5-4 game.
Those are those 50-50 balls. If Southern Utah can get those and score off them, it's going to give them a chance to stay in this game for a while.
Eddie draws our first personal foul of the game.
And right away, I think you see it. And it's, only first couple minutes into the ball game, but that's where you miss a guy like Rob at times, is those 50-50 plays, gets on the ground, and often the ball never gets to that point. Who steps up? Kevin can do it from the point guard spot to some degree, but it's got to be one of those bigs who just kind of takes that mentality of that toughness. Hey, that ball's mine. I'm going to get that. We're going to move it forward down the floor. We saw it in exhibition. We've seen some of it in practice, fellas. Those loose balls, 50-50 plays, you've got to make sure you come up with those.
One of the things Rob Sacre did so well last year was he wasn't a great rebounder per se, but he kept his guy off the glass from getting the ball, creating opportunities for his teammates.
Pangos with the offensive rebound. Bell with the three from the corner. It's 9-4. That foul was on Jackson Stevenette, his first, team's first.
Gonzaga showing a little 1-2-1-1 three-quarter court pressure.
Deflection by Harris. Higher into the lane. Hangs and hits. Nice looking bucket. Damon Higher. Averaged 11 points a game a year ago. Dower deep on the post. Missed it. Kind of rushed that one, Richard?
Yeah, rushed it a bit. Got the defender on your back. Your work's done. Take your time. Make sure you finish at your own pace. Rushed it.
Jeffrey somehow throws it in off the glass.
I'll tell you what, if you were expecting Southern Utah to come out nervous and intimidated, we haven't seen any of that.
No, not at all.
They're here to play.
Zags may be getting more of a test here early on than they thought. Here's Dower for three. So, Dan, are you surprised that we've seen 3 3-pointers already for Gonzaga?
Not at all. With Coach Few, if you're open and you've got the ability to knock it down, let it fly. You've got everybody on this floor right now, except the possibility of Guy Landry-Eddy is going to have freedom to take that three-pointer this year.
Harris with the defense and the run out and the flush.
Great early activity and intensity on both ends of the floor for Gonzaga right now.
The 6-point game. Stevenette spinning and travel. Eddie with the defense. 14-8, 15-54 to play first half. Elias Harris with the steal and the finish at the other end. We'll be right back. Time now for tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Dan, what are they?
Well, I think Gonzaga needed to come out and hit first, be the aggressor on both ends of the floor, and they've done that tonight. They've gotten in passing lanes, they've pushed the ball in transition, and they've found guys.
And not just for tonight, but for throughout the year. Clean the glass, protect your defensive backboard, create some second chance opportunities offensively. That's quietly been a staple of this program. 17 straight years of out-rebounding opponents. That's something they want to continue to do this year.
Zag fans, Northern Quest Luck and Luxury Package includes your room, a $20 gaming credit, and a $20 spa credit starting at just $119. Visit northernquest.com. Restrictions apply. David Stockton on the floor for GU now, along with Shemek Karnowski. If you haven't seen him play yet, you're going to like this kid. Missed with the left hand, got it back. And back to Stockton. There's Harris, open. Corner three, long, tipped out by Bell. And it's run down by number 44, Julian Scott, for the Thunderbirds. And this is Jordan Johnson, number 25, with it.
We talk about so much of the depth of Gonzaga this year is in the front court, but don't forget about playing 2 and sometimes 3-guard lineups with David Stockton, Kevin Pangos, and Gary Bell, because they're all smart basketball players.
Yeah, I think the staff loves this lineup out on the perimeter with those 3, like you mentioned, Dan. All 3 can play with each other. They can all handle it and create offense for other guys or themselves. Dynamic perimeter play there.
Higher off of the shot. There's Karnowski. 7 feet, 305 pounds, and running the floor.
Off a missed basket, sprints down the middle of the floor, the gut of the floor, and a nice play from your point guard looking up ahead.
That was great on both guards and bigs. Bigs run the floor, unlike Richard could do years ago. David Stockton really put that ball on the money.
Wow, fellas, it's only
early.
game one. Come on now.
Julian Scott, double team comes. Bell knocked it away, and it's knocked out of bounds. Possession stays with Southern Utah with 13 on the shot clock. Poor Richard. Hey, Shemick got a haircut, gentlemen.
Yeah, looking
high
slim.
and tight.
Yeah.
It's almost Marine-like here on Veterans Weekend. Johnson lost the handle. GU on a 7-0 run.
You see,
and 4 turnovers now for Southern Utah.
I was just going to say that, Greg. 4 turnovers. They haven't played yet against anybody else. And then on top of that, they're here at GU, one of the better venues on the West Coast. And you can see they're playing fast. Right now, the game is moving a little too quickly. And a lot of those turnovers have just been on, unforced errors. Right there, dribbling off your leg or traveling in traffic. It's going to take a few minutes for Southern Utah to settle down.
Stockton drives. And a nice finish.
That's an underrated skill for guards, being able to get into the rim, but finish. Some of the better players at that guard position are that way because they can finish.
Bell takes it away. From Cal Hanks. Stockton. Harris blocked, but a foul called. Foul will be on number 44, Julian Scott, his first, team second.
Well, you like the effort defensively if you're the coaching staff for GU. You've already turned over Southern Utah five times. You've done a nice job on the glass, only given up 1 offensive rebound here to a team that's shooting 7 of 12, or pardon me, 4 of 8. So I think on that end of the floor, things are getting there a lot more quickly than they are on the offensive end. And as a coach, you expect that, don't you, to some degree, Dan? I mean, the defense usually comes first.
Yeah, defensively is always going to be the focus early on in the season because so much of your emphasis is going to be getting guys to play hard. The offense typically takes care of itself.
There's Wysenka. He lost the handle, and back comes Stockton. Stockton missed the lay-in. A.J. Hess was there to contest that shot, and Hess has it back. Got to give Southern Utah credit. They're still playing hard.
Oh, yeah.
Jump shot. That rattles in. Jackson Stevenet. Stevenet's first points of the game, averaged 15 a year ago.
Second team All-Summit League, led him in points, rebounds, started the only player coming back that started in all the games last year. A lot expected of him, and you saw right there, a tough shot on the baseline. Nice move.
Actually, I gave him a point last year. He's at 14.1. I always round up. I don't know about you guys.
I do the same. I
do it with my bank account, too. That bucket ended a 3-minute and 41-second drought offensively for Southern Utah. There's Bell. Drives, hangs, hits.
That right there is going to be a very important shot for Gary Bell this year. He's got the 3-point shot. He can finish at the rim, but what does he do in that mid-range? If he can get that little floater kind of game down, it's going to be a very tough cover for opposing teams.
You had that down, Dan. You like that little floater.
Well, it's hard to guard, you know. One dribble in, pick it up. Big doesn't fully commit, loft it right up over the top.
He needs to do that. You look at his year last year, as good as he was, you wonder how much more could he have scored. Only shot the ball double digits in 5 games. And I think he's got that in him. Hopefully this year he's more aggressive and assertive on the offensive end.
Gary Bell picking up Gonzaga's first foul. That shot's long by A.J. Hess. Stockton the long rebound, and now on the move. Karnowski dribbles through his shoulder and finishes with the left hand. Gentlemen, he's got the left and the right. He's a freshman. He's barely, he's not even 19 years old yet.
He's got a lot to learn, too, which is the scary thing. Took his time, and the teams right now aren't going to double him as David commits the foul. Oh, pardon me, offensive foul on Southern Utah.
Yeah, Chris Wysenka.
You know, that's one thing that's going to be very important for Gonzaga is David Stockton coming in, changing the tempo of the game, getting up, picking up defensively, and really creating problems. Right there, you see it. It's probably the 3rd or 4th time he's done that in tonight's game. Create problems, good things happen.
And what I like about David and Kevin being out there at the same time is it gives Kevin a break with handling the ball, trying to deal with that ball pressure, because he's so good both on the ball but also working off the ball.
No look pass, Dower, short, rebounded by Chessman. There's a quick shot by Stevenette. Stevenette now a couple of buckets here in the last minute. He's got 5.
Well, they needed that bucket because Gonzaga's slowly starting to put this thing out of reach early.
Karnowski missed that shot. Rebounded by Scott. Kyle Dranginis, number 3 on the floor for GU. Redshirt freshman. Out of Southern Idaho. Another turnover. Gonzaga basketball when we come back. 11:27 to play first half. Richard, you just saw that last bucket there on that highlight by Karnowski. He used his right shoulder to clear some space. Could that have been called an offensive foul?
Yeah, probably, but
hey, but we got Dick Cartmel on the floor, right? He doesn't call those ones.
it's a man's game inside.
It is.
Not sure about those guards, but the big guys inside, that's a man's game now.
You know, that's just your opinion here. What the guards are going to do is they're going to create a lot of open space for the bigs to work and ply their trade. So it works hand in hand, but my opinion is the guards are going to make this team go this year.
Southern Utah, last 16 possessions, 8 turnovers.
He's playing too fast. And right now, that's understandable, like we've said, but down 10 here midway through this first half. You've got to slow things down, get some better shots if you're Southern Utah.
Stockton leaves it for Karnowski. Missed it. And Stevenette runs down the loose ball. Here's Colley. Higher in the corner. There's some physicality. And a shot missed by Julian Scott. Karnowski. Loose ball out of bounds. Thunderbirds basketball. Karnowski now 2 of 6 from the floor.
Yeah, but I think part of it is he's playing a little too fast right now as well. You know, he's got an adjustment. It's one thing to play in the exhibition, practice. But this is your first game speed. You know, your first actual game speed. You can tell he's tired. You can tell he's rushing some of those shots.
And Dan, this might be the smallest lineup we see for Gonzaga all season.
It very well could. It very well could. You get Mike Hart right now at the 4 at about 6'6". You know, we go back to Shemek on the last couple possessions. If you look at the Northwest Nazarene game, he was very effective, but he was playing against 6'6", 6'7" guys. Tonight, Cheeseman with 6'11", so he's got much more size to deal with tonight.
Dranginis missed it, got it back. New clock, Pangos. Stockton shoots the 3.
Great unselfish play right there all around. Get the offensive rebound. You can go up, kick it back out. Kevin Pangos rejects a good shot, gets a great shot for a teammate. David Stockton knocks it down.
Stockton hit that with 6'8" Jaron Jeffrey bearing down on him as well. Heyer open 3. Had to take that one. Damon Heyer now with 5 points.
And that's going to frustrate the staff. Heyer last year led the team, Southern Utah, and 3-pointers made and attempted as Dower misses a shot inside versus the Cheeseman defense.
That pass tough to handle there for Jaron Jeffrey.
That's one of those high-risk, low-reward plays right there. He's better off pulling that thing back out, getting them into offense. Possession before, they had a great set. They ran a cross screen into a down screen, created an open shot, and knocked it down in the last possession. If Southern Utah wants to stay in the game, they're going to have to play a possession game.
So we have Pangos, Stockton, Hart, Dranginis, and Dower on the floor for GU. Pangos, nifty little move. Little jump stop in the paint there.
Great patience on the live ball side pick and roll. See what happens, see what the defense gets you. As soon as you know what you want to do, attack that seam. Great finish.
Love the little hop.
It's got to be careful on that hop, though. Those feet have to come back down at the same exact time. In the NBA, that more than likely was a travel.
Stevenette with a jump shot. Did you just use travel and NBA in the same sentence?
Well,
come on, Dan. Dan Dickow.
Sometimes they say they're going to call it early in the season. They end up not calling it.
Pangos. Into the corner. How did he get that ball to Stockton? Hart with a rebound. New clock. Dower. One too many spins. Hit him with the elbow and traveled as well.
I like his flash into the post there. The one thing I think Sam really has to do to take that next step, that in evolution of his game, is to be able to use his right hand. Go over that left shoulder. Everything right now is so geared towards left hand, right shoulder, where teams scout it and they can pick up charges like that.
Yeah, he had an open right hand jump hook there going to the baseline. You're right. Trying to force it to that left hand and got called for the cheap elbow, but he's starting to get a groove. Started slow, but Dower's starting to get comfortable.
Here it is. Jeffrey with a little hesitation there. And Harris was all over him, and then Jeffrey picks up the personal foul. Team's fifth, his first.
I really like what I'm seeing on the defensive end from Gonzaga right now. Very active up top, pressuring the guards. And the bigs, Harris on that possession in particular, he gambles, but he doesn't gamble in such a way that if he misses it, he puts himself out of position.
Yeah, he doesn't force help up because he takes the risk defensively. He's able to recover.
Bell. Harris up high for the rebound. Knocked to the floor. Jump ball. Possession arrow goes to GU. And we've got a timeout. 7:42 to play first half. Gonzaga leading Southern Utah by 10. There's Stevenette. Big three. Stockton answers at the other end. And higher for the Thunderbirds. Got yours yet, Richard?
No, not yet. Next week.
I'm sure you will.
Next week.
I'm surprised. Richard's got great in-depth knowledge of the stats.
Richard could have written a doggone thing. Richard probably
Oh,
should
you
have.
guys are too kind. Too kind.
Hey, I'm a big fan of yours. There's Stockton. Right around Collie on the finish.
Love the guards being able to get to the cup and finish, especially with that inside hand. Got to be able to finish both hands around the basket off either foot.
And that kid has evolved here at GU. There's a little fall away by Jackson Stevenette.
Stevenette come to play now. 9 points on 4 of 5, shooting a couple assists.
That's the beautiful thing about Gonzaga and how players can develop if they have the right attitude in the program. David is not the most overwhelming athlete, not the biggest player, but he has a confidence, he has a swagger, and he is extremely confident in what he brings to the table for this Gonzaga team.
And his feel, too, is off the charts. You can't coach that. At some point, you just have that or you don't. And when you get it from your point guard, it's such an asset. He just knows where the ball needs to go. And as he's grown within the program, more confidence and all that. But at the end of the day, I think that confidence or that feel he has, that underlying feel, is really his biggest asset.
Well, a lot of people learn the family business, the family trade at the breakfast table. Well, he learned from probably the greatest point guard ever to play the game of basketball, and his dad, John. So I think he probably learned quite a bit at the breakfast table.
That foul a minute ago on Jackson Stevenette. That was his second. Whistle here. But Dick Cartmel coming in.
Just miscommunication for Southern Utah. Scott was trying to give the ball. Oh, and it corrected it.
Well, it's still the ref's first game of the year, too. I mean, let's give them a little bit of a break here.
Never, Dan Dickow, never. I'm just kidding. I'm a big fan of these three guys on the floor, actually. We've seen them do a lot of games here at Gonzaga. Cartmel's been one of the best in the business for a couple of decades.
We don't do Final Fours just because he's definitely one of the best in the business. All three guys here regularly do Pac-12 games, so a good crew for the first game of the year.
And they've done several exhibition games to this point.
So no mercy, is that what you're saying?
Well, we're not going to get it. There's Dower. Again, the feel from Stockton.
What an efficient high pick and roll. David comes off it. Sam ducks in on the weak side at just the right time.
There's a foul called on Harris. Actually, they give it to Dower? No, it is Harris.
That's a tough call, but you know what? At this point in the game, I really like that. The activity out of Elias right there. It's only his first foul of the game. You want to see guys like that being active out front on top.
Well, and that defensively, in my opinion, is his unique asset, is that he can really get out on the ball when he's dialed in on that end of the floor. He can guard guys off the dribble. Does a nice job hedging out on screens. You saw right there pressuring the ball.
Colley from the elbow.
Well, he's a guy that's been talked about in NBA circles as a prospect. Well, one of the things he's got to do is be able to guard threes and fours if he's going to have a chance to play at that next level.
Stevenette clears off the Pangos miss. 13-point game. Pangos with 7 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 2 assists. And we have a whistle. This is an offensive foul on Southern Utah.
On Scott on a screen away from the ball, I believe.
His second, team 7th.
I'll tell you what, jumps out right away. We talked about the defensive effort. GU dialed in on that on the floor. Let's take a quick look. The far end there, that little screen away from the ball. And I don't know if you call that at the park, but okay.
It's a contact sport last time I checked. Here's Harris. Blocked from behind. That could have been called a foul, though.
Not the park I play at. Not tomorrow when I play with my buddies. That is not a foul. I'll tell you what.
It isn't.
We're going to get an argument.
I think we got to slow that one down. I think he got it with the body and the hack from behind. Harris. Ooh, Chessman with the block. Higher in the move. 2 on 3. And Eddie took it away and then lost it. They're tied up. Eddie and Higher, possession arrow favoring the Thunderbirds this time.
Let's take a look at this. Some contact, and
well, that had to be a whistle.
Cheeseman comes over and says, nope. Last year now led his team in rebounding and blocks, 5.5 rebounds and nearly 1.5 blocks per game. And you can see he's got some tools, some good length. He's active around the rim, plays hard. It's the offensive end where he struggles a bit. Only 8 points last year at the JC level.
6'11", 250 out of Orem, Utah.
Well, Southern Utah's got great size for a team in the Big Sky Conference. So, you know, I think they're predicted 7th in some of the polls to finish in their league out of 9 teams. But they've got some tools that you can see tonight. If they work hard, if they buy into Coach Robinson's system, they could finish higher than their projected finish.
Foul called on Dower, his first, team's 3rd. And Jackson Stevenette, the senior out of Kaysville, Utah, at the free throw line. 2nd team All Summit League last year, 14 points and nearly 6 rebounds. And Shemek Karnowski checking back in. Dower goes out. One of 2 for Stevenette.
Stevenette, first player in double figures. 4 of 5 from the field as you got double dribble here from Shemek.
It's one of those things big fella's going to learn coming over from Europe. You drop the pass. That starts the possession as far as the dribble. So,
and you look at it again. Cheeseman, 6'11", 250. Shemek, 7 foot, about 300. But still, you got a guy different size there leaning up against you. And I think he has struggled a bit with that tonight, Dan.
I mean, the nice thing is he's a freshman. It's his first real game, and because of the depth they have in the front court, they're going to give an opportunity to ease into his role this year.
Here's Colley. Chessman out deep, back to Higher, fall away. That's well short.
I think Gum may have gotten a piece of that, Greg.
I think he did. They don't call it. It's not a foul.
Pangos around Harris. He'll shoot it. Tipped around, grabbed by Eddie. Put back is short. And Shemek Karnowski out of there with it. New clock.
offensive rebound, number 7 for the Bulldogs. 8 second chance points already here in the first half off the offensive glass.
Harris in the paint. Harris now with 5 points. Preseason all wooden. Elias Harris. A.J. Hess. Karnowski a long way from the bucket. Knocked away by Harris, and he picked it up. Here's Bell. Whistle. Offensive foul called on Gary Bell, his second, team's fourth.
That's Damian Huer stepping in. Nice charge in transition.
Take another look at this, guys. Good call here.
Yes, sir. I like it.
35-21 our score. All right, guys, sometimes offense is pretty simple, isn't it?
Well, great pick and roll, mid pick and roll set here. David Stockton fakes coming off the pick and roll, comes off it hard, makes his defender, makes the big commit. But what we don't see is Sam Dowers, man, jumps to the help side. Sam reads it. Great drop pass by David Stockton there for the bucket.
David and Sam on the bench now. Look at that. Hess was not expecting that pass to come back at him, and he got it right in the chest. And then Eddie deposited it 10 feet later. 16-point lead.
Just the ball pressure from GU is relentless. On the catch, guy bring the ball up the floor. You're getting excellent ball pressure at all 5 positions, and that's something we've seen in practice consistently leading up to this season, as the coaching staff really wants to pick the tempo up on that end of the floor.
Stevenette threw up a tough one there. Here's Eddie. Lost the handle. Karnowski got it back, and a shot for 3.
Picking up the scraps. Shemek Karnowski. You know, you talked a second ago about Gonzaga picking up the defensive pressure. That's what you can do when you have the depth that they have this year. If you want to play big minutes, when you get your chance, you better get out there and create something on the floor. If you don't, someone else is coming back in.
And and GU doesn't have, you know, an Earl Knight type athlete, Tony Skinner, those guys who are all-world athletes, but they have a ton of guys who can take a scouting report, apply it onto the floor, and they're all good athletes. Maybe not great athletes, but good feet, good hands, and they guard without fouling. When you look at last year's numbers, one of the best defensive teams that didn't foul in GU's history.
Well, applying a scouting report and knowledge of your opponent is a skill, just like shooting the ball, just like making sure you put the ball into the post from the wing.
Karnowski now with 7 points after he converts that 3-point play. Here's Stevenette. Missed it. Put back good by Jaron Jeffrey.
That might have been the first big breakdown from Gonzaga where they didn't have 5 guys reacting defensively to the ball.
Eddie inside from Pangos. Gonzaga leads by 17, but they've had 5 or 6 buckets roll off the rim.
Yeah, it's some bunnies around the rim that just haven't fallen for him. Karnowski's got a couple right there. You see Guy misses it off a nice cut.
Harris will shoot free throws. Foul coming on Julian Scott, number 44. That's his 3rd, team's 9th.
And you know, Dan, Greg, you as well can talk to this. I can't remember a team in a while that has had this much movement offensively. It looks to me like not only is the ball constantly moving, but all 5 guys have a purpose in what they're doing out there on the floor. It makes them really tough to guard. You saw right there. Kevin makes that baseline drive, and he could have easily just stood on the 3-point line, but he saw that action, immediately cut to the rim. You see Dower trying to make himself available in the short corner. There's just a ton of movement in this offense.
Well, I think one of the things that the new NCAA rules have allowed is when coaches can work with the players throughout the summertime, you're able to get a little bit more in depth on the game, teaching read and react, teaching spacing and these kind of things. And I think that's what you're seeing right now is being able to, early in the season, get into some things that maybe you wouldn't be able to get into in past years.
You guys talk offense. We look at defense. Really, it's created a lot of their offense tonight.
Well, you look at it for Southern Utah, not a great first half to start the year. A ton of turnovers, 15 turnovers, and GU's ball pressure, not only on the ball, but right on the catch. And that's what's been impressive to me is on ball swings or just simple one-pass moves offensively for Southern Utah. There's a guy on the catch immediately. And that's something that I think can carry over, not just tonight, but regardless of who you play. If you provide that kind of effort on that end of the floor, it's going to pay dividends.
Harris hits the front end. You know, you guys talk about offensively and that all 5 guys seem to be moving around, a lot of movement on offense. All 5 guys on the floor can score. This team is going to keep every defense honest. There's no sloughing off anybody.
Well, that helps. That helps on spacing. That helps on making the other team defensively pay attention to everybody on the floor.
Harris, Eddie.
Wow. Impressive right there.
Top 10. We're going to say it. ESPN top 10 right now.
Chessman runs down the loose ball. Dower trying to take it back. And he must have stepped on the sideline over there. It'll be Southern Utah as we take another look.
It starts with ball pressure and an unselfish play. He throws it up, and he knows what to do with it once he gets the break. That is impressive. Look at this.
Very few guys in college basketball are going to be doing that this year.
Or have the confidence to try. How about that? Oh, wow.
Chessman missed it, tipped it back. He may be better than a Big Sky player.
Yeah, I agree. Now, only 4 points, 2 of 4 shooting, but you've seen defensively he's active, a couple rebounds. I think at that level he's going to be a handful.
Oh, he came from junior college, and a lot of times junior college, you can be a diamond in the rough without having to be a scoring option on your team. So obviously Nick Robinson's found a good one here.
The one thing I've noticed in this game, Gonzaga really committed to going to the post. Seems like every opportunity they have, the ball goes to the post first.
Play inside out, get those paint touches. It doesn't have to be on a post touch. It can just be off dribble penetration. You can open up those shots on the perimeter.
Harris lined it up, and Chessman met him at the rim with a big block.
Chessman's running down the floor with a big smile on his face.
Heyer left that free ball well short. Stevenette cleaned it up. We're under 30 to play first half. Boy, Harris really wanted that jam. Gonzaga will play for 1. Stockton right around Colley. Chessman knocked it away. Pangos at the buzzer, close to it. That was close. Well, guys, 44-27 our score. You had 7 Zags score in that first half. Well balanced. Got some great defensive plays there. And, of course, players who really know how to finish. 44-27 our score at the half. We'll be right back from the McCarthy Athletic Center. Tonight's halftime stats brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino. It's all about you at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Join us for a mouth-watering steak dinner, a pampering spa treatment, or for one of our massive jackpots. Win big and rediscover the Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort. Guys, numbers, turnovers really jump out at you. Gonzaga did not end up shooting the ball well.
No, Gonzaga didn't shoot the ball very well at all. Only 39.5%. But what happens is, off those 18 turnovers, they got 18 more shots up. That is a huge difference in a game like this.
And for Southern Utah, when you did get a shot up, you shot 48% from the field, 55% from inside the arc. If they take their time, they get good shots.
Pangos to Dower. Sam took his time on that shot.
Great execution coming out of halftime. Move the ball side to side, get into a live ball side pick and roll. Hit the pick and pop guy, Sam Dower. Great knockdown jumper.
Stevenette trying to draw the foul and does. I thought he got in there too deep, ran into trouble.
Well, he lost the ball, but stuck with it and a little pump fake it to Elias off his feet. Easy call for the official, but you know, this game now, 19 points. Feels like, you know, it's going to go GU's way, but you better believe Southern Utah is going to continue to play hard. There's no quit in this group. And that was an excellent first possession for them. They slowed down, no turnover, an opportunity around the rim. They need to continue to try to do that.
Well, I'm sure Coach Few's message at halftime was keep sawing wood. We're up 17. We didn't have a great first half shooting the ball. Saw wood. We'll come out of this thing and we'll learn a lot about ourselves going into our big game on Monday night against West Virginia.
Harris with 2 personal fouls now. Stevenette hits both ends. He's got 14 points, 6 rebounds. Gary Bell, Harris. Shoots it. Missed the shot over Jaron Jeffrey, but foul called on Jeffrey, and now Harris will shoot the free throws. That's the 3rd on Jeffrey.
Jeffrey looking for a replay, didn't like the call. Thought he was straight up and down, but an excellent play call. You know, a lot of the possessions for GU end up in those types of plays, particularly for the post players. Those isolations, Elias catches the ball at 18 feet. He can knock down that jump shot. If he doesn't have it, he can look to go one-on-one. He did it right there and was able to draw the contact and the foul. And an excellent play. A lot of options, but they always end up getting the ball in one of their better scorers' hands.
Chessman trying to show some range. And missed it. Throws it up. Bang goes to Harris. And Elias back at the free throw line. Dan, I know you were on a lot of preseason lists back in the day. How big a deal is that to a player, Elias on the preseason wooden list?
Well, it's always nice to be recognized for what you do. I think those top 50 lists, they throw a lot of guys out there who are at big name programs and things. I think the main thing he has to do is focus on the fact that if they continue to win games, he'll be on the list when it goes down to 30. He'll have a chance to be on the list when it goes down to 20 to 10, and maybe have a chance to be an All-American this year. But you can't do that if the team doesn't win.
It's so true. And you ended up first team AP All-America, remember? That was amazing. Here's a steal. Harris. He wanted to dunk it. Eddie got it back, and now he'll shoot for a 3-point play.
Well, you saw the 1-2-2 press right there again off a made basket. He forces the long pass off the trap. Elias is able to jump it and tries to go up and finish it. Nice challenge there from here, but Landry right there to clean it up, gets himself to the free throw line.
Harris has got to finish that dunk, doesn't he?
Oh, he's got to finish that, without a doubt. Go up, get up over the top, finish it. But the thing I like right there is Landry did not quit on the play. He followed it in and cleaned it up.
Eddie now with 8 points after that 3-point play. Stevenette got it to Chesky.
He knew better that time. Sometimes you want to play more minutes. You do what the coach wants.
Colley over Pangos. Eddie with another rebound, but his 6th.
But a good shot for Southern Utah. You take that shot with 15 seconds on the shot clock rather than trying to force up a quick shot early. You end up with a good look.
Dower inside 3. Chessman runs down the miss. Here's number 3, Damon Heyer. There's a tough pass. Trying to go inside to number 42, Jaron Jeffrey. That's an unforced turnover. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 18:03 to play, second half. Gonzaga leading it now 52-29. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be right back from Spokane. Let me just say this. Whatever you think the number is, I think it could end up to be a little low.
Well, you never know. They've got about 6 guys on the squad this year that have a chance.
Yes.
If Gonzaga reclaims that conference title like they so badly want to, there's a chance that they're going to have 3 or 4 guys.
And the league hasn't seen Karnowski play yet.
No.
And by January, he's going to be a different dude.
Richard Fox will love talking about Karnowski's game throughout the year. I know that.
Absolutely. Gotta give the big fella some love.
Gonzaga working the clock down to 10 seconds. I don't know if we've seen that yet this game. 5 on the shot clock. Harris for 3.
A good possession, though. Eddie gets the steal there.
Spins and drops it through. Eddie now with 11 in the double figures.
And that's how he's going to score. I'm sorry, Dan. That's how he's going to score. Cleaning up a missed shot off, Elias's missed dunk right there, getting a cheap steal off a guy not paying attention. That's where his offense is going to come from.
If he makes little plays like that, and then the possession a few plays ago in transition where Elias missed the dunk, those are going to be momentum plays for them throughout the season.
Higher. Harris with the rebound. Elias now with 6 rebounds and 10 points. Bell driving. Dower. Big Sam with 9, 2 rebounds.
Workman-like, only 4 of 10 from the field.
But I like the fact that he's gotten up 10 shots though.
Exactly, yeah, he's grinding it out. Teams are now paying attention to him as you get it. Easy layup inside for Stevenet off the nice cut.
And Eddie running the floor, blocked from behind.
Got a whistle here.
And a whistle.
We're back to Dower. 4 of 10, but teams are now teeing up on him. They know who he is. He's not the big coming off the bench to give Zachary a blow. He's, as of right now, to start the year, the guy with his back to the basket at that 5 spot. He's going to get a lot of attention. I think he's done a nice job of working through some of that tonight. And even the shots that he's missed, for the most part, have been good looks for him.
Eddie at the line. That last foul called on Jackson Stevenet. That's his 3rd personal, team 2nd. Mike Hart on the floor now for Gonzaga, replacing Elias Harris. Bell, Pangos, Eddie, Hart, Dower. Hart with the offensive rebound, but a whistle. He was standing on the end line.
But that's what you love out of Mike Hart. He comes into the game. He's not going to score. You know that. He's going to try to do exactly that. Create extra possessions for you on the offensive glass. Defensively, take a charge.
Southern Utah has 4 points this half. Guy Landry Eddie has 8. There's Damon Hire. Shot away. Tipped around, saved by Dower. Got it to Eddie. Guy Landry now looking for his point guard, and there he is. Pangos. Hart. Pangos open 3 corner. Kevin now into double figures with 10 points. So guys, Gonzaga a lot more deliberate on offense in this half. Is that by choice, or is Southern Utah doing something different to get them more passes into the offense?
Well, I think Southern Utah's defensive intensity has picked up in this second half, but Gonzaga is being very efficient. They're just happening to make their shots this half.
Pangos. Dower.
Great pass. Great pass. Way to run the floor, Sam Dower. As a big, if you can run the floor like that and run it consistently, you put so much pressure on the defense. Collapse it, then it opens up the game for the guards.
That looked like a few extra steps there by Julian Scott, but he scores. Gonzaga on an 18-4 run. Or is it 18-6 now? There's Dower. Hart with the rebound right over Kohler.
Getting extra possessions. That's what Mike Hart is in the game for.
And then Bell just walks the baseline and plays it in.
You play against a guy like Hart, Just doesn't take a possession off as you get a timeout here from Southern Utah.
But he comes in off the bench cold, and he looks to do what he does.
But it's just, you know, particularly as a post player.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's at the three-point line. You don't expect him to fly in every time. You relax, and that's where he makes you pay. And you know, obviously, we know what he does defensively, taking charges. He's an excellent rebounder for his size, too.
Look at the shoulders on that guy, Richard.
Yeah, last year was 4th on the team and a little over 1 offensive rebound per game. Finished the season with about 3 rebounds per game. So he can get it done on the glass, and then offensively, you saw right there attacking the offensive glass.
With Family Home Care, you always get the home court advantage you deserve. Live happy with FHC. And there you see the home court advantage for Gonzaga. Just 7 losses in this building since it opened. And well over 100 wins now. It's pretty impressive.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad
at all. You know, I think you look at one of the other main differences from the first half to the second half. Gonzaga was out-rebounded by 5 in the first half. They've come out and made that an emphasis, and I think that's one reason Mike Hart's in the game early in the second half. They're up +7 this half on the glass.
Shemek Karnowski in there as well, along with David Stockton. Already 15 on the shot clock. Kyle Dranginis in there for GU as well. 5 on the shot clock. Colley's got to shoot it with 2. Off the glass, no good. Scott lost it, then saved it. Quick shot is off by number 12, Chris Misenki. And now Stockton feeding Bell and through a home run pass.
David.
64-33 our score. We'll be right back. Boy, you know, it's the good players that really make this game look so easy. And there's 5 highlights right there where literally just looks so easy.
Well, so much
you guys
of it
played, you know how hard it is.
So much of it is just taking what the defense gives you. One time you come down, you make a good play, all of a sudden they try to take that away, you just read and react. And as long as you've practiced it time and time again, it becomes second nature. Easier said than done, though. You are right, Greg. I mean, sometimes big fellas, I'm not going to name names. It's hard to walk and chew gum and talk and pass the ball. And
I'd say Corey wouldn't appreciate that.
He would. He might be here tonight, too. Corey Violette, one of the great big men in the history of this program. There's Julian Scott. I don't know how he does it, but he seems to get away with something, but I don't know what it is.
Tell you what,
Quite orthodox, that's all.
that was unorthodox for sure, but Mike Hart, that was great defense.
Stockton watched by Jordan Johnson. Here's Bell. Missed that shot. He didn't miss many from 3 last year.
He missed that one, but great execution. UCLA cut into a side pick and roll, but single double action. Gary did a great job using that screen to create the opening. Just got to knock it down.
Stockton now keeps it and lays it in.
Tough finish under the outstretched hands of Scott. I think Scott thought he had himself a block there, but you see the craftiness right there. David shows the ball one way, able to slide the ball underneath the defender's hands and get himself an easy layup.
Gonzaga didn't shoot 40% in that first half. For the game now, they're up to, actually for the game now, they're up to 44.6. They're 57% from the floor this half. There's a good-looking bucket for A.J. Hess from 3. Hess, his first points of the game. Oh, they changed it to a 2. Brock Salzman. He had that pointed out before they announced it. Brock, of course, our statistician. Karnowski with the flush. I didn't get a chance to say it earlier, but Richard, you were at practice earlier this week. It seemed like every touch the big fella got at practice, he was looking to dunk it. None of this throwing the ball to the rim anymore.
Yeah, and they're making an emphasis of that when he's gathered and can get himself going. He needs to try to finish strong at the rim. I think he has the tendency at times to want to rely too much on his touch as David gets fouled trying to go coast to coast and get himself 2 free throws. They want Karnowski to be a lot more aggressive when he sees the lane of the rim. You see right here, off a great feed from Kyle. Takes his time, goes up strong, probably drew the foul, finishes, hangs on the rim. GU up in a big way. 11:28 left.
Time now to announce our Subway sub of the game. It's time for melty, mouth-watering goodness. We just said that. I'm assuming tonight's sub is...
We're going with David Stockton.
David Stockton. Okay,
Easy
3
call.
steals, 2 assists, 9 points in 14 minutes. Throwing now double digits. He's up to 10 points.
Well, he changed the complexion of the game when he checked in the first half. Intensity-wise, picking up defensively, getting his hands on balls and passing lanes. Just a guy you want on your team.
Trent Guinness to Harris. And another flush for Big E.
Second possession here in the second half, where Dranginis' dribble penetration leads to a dunk for a big. He has an excellent feel. We talked about it during the exhibition game. He could play point at times. It's just the depth at that position for GU. It's not going to be needed, but he has that kind of feel with the ball.
Well, there's that old saying, just because you make an occasional point guard play doesn't make you a point guard. He's just a good wing who can make point guard plays.
Left-hand finish by Julian Scott. Let me ask you this question, gentlemen. How many teams in the Big Sky would love to have David Stockton as we look at Karnowski again running the floor?
I would say every single one of them right about now. I mean, and you see the impact that he's had on this game tonight. Well, the problem for him is they've got a heck of a point guard in Kevin Pangos who starts the game, but Coach Few doesn't care who starts. It's who plays a significant part of the game.
Who finishes the game.
Who finishes the game.
Well, I think David's an excellent case study in a big miss by teams like in the Big Sky or the Summit League or even the lower level of the WCC. Teams and coaches got caught up with what they could see physically, not how he played on the floor. His feel and the fact that he can do so many things well offensively. Big hands, he can pass it, handle it. Defensively, he's just a nuisance. He's gotten better and better with his body. He's bigger, stronger. And you're absolutely right. Not just the Big Sky, but a lot of teams here on the lower level on the West Coast look at him and say that guy could start for us. That's impressive.
Polly, jump shot, that rolls in. I think it's safe to say that when David Stockton walked on at Gonzaga, Karnowski, another big fella.
He's going to be a favorite here.
I'd say he's going to be a factor here as well.
Oh, without a doubt.
7 feet, and he's beating everybody down the floor.
Well, he's a hard worker, too. Let's take a look at it. You don't see the pass, but a great pass over the top. And Karnowski, rather than trying to lay it up softly off the glass, taking up strong with 2 hands, something that we talked about just a few minutes ago he's working on, paying some dividends for him now.
Karnowski now with 13 points. That ball is off of Southern Utah. And go back to finish the point about David Stockton. When he came to Gonzaga as a walk-on, there were a lot of people around Spokane. David, of course, played in the GSL, who thought, what?
Well, again, it goes down to
but then he comes to a top 25 program, and he's going to earn 15 minutes a game.
Yeah. You find a place where there's a niche for you, and you're competitive, and you're skilled, you're going to have success, and he's proving that.
Karnowski with 2 more, now with 15 points, 2 rebounds. And there's another finish by Julian Scott. Scott now with 8 points. And a foul call. Karnowski putting on a clinic here, gentlemen.
Well, what I've seen in just a couple weeks from the exhibition game versus Northwest Nazarene to tonight is he's much more willing to use his body to shield the defender. They call it sealing the defense. He's doing a great job of that. And then when he gets the ball, he's patient. He uses his size to his advantage, and he's finishing tonight.
And Richard, in the exhibition game, he didn't dunk the ball once.
No.
He's already had 2 tonight. And if he's going to go at the rim that aggressively, it means he's going to shoot more free throws.
Absolutely. And that's something that he can do, is gets himself to the free throw line. And what I like about this transition that GU is going to make from Rob now to Karnowski being, the bigger body on the team is Karnowski, a lot like Rob, can make his free throws. He's got good touch at the charity stripe. So that's a big value down the stretch of a game. Dan, you can talk to that. Having bigs who can make free throws because they're going to get fouled.
Hire stepped on the sideline. Dan, finish your thought.
Well, close games, you want guys who can make free throws. And if your best players don't make free throws, you can't put them in at the end of the games. And you want your best players out there to finish the games.
Karnowski, the 6th Zag now in double figures tonight. Here's Dower. Left it for Karnowski. He should have shot that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Collie moves, travels. Sam knows it too. When you're a player and you make that mistake, you know it before you've done it, don't you? You just can't stop it.
Without a doubt. You know, and the funny thing is everybody wants to score, but sometimes in a team setting when things are going well, you want to keep playing unselfish, and that was a prime example of it.
I mean, a coach doesn't even have to say anything to Sam. He knew he was too close to him to make that play.
That's one of those plays you don't want to look over the bench. You don't want to get the look.
Well, sometimes in a situation like that, you make a mistake, you look at the bench, you're coming out. Just don't look at the bench. Get back on D.
Eddie now with 14 points. Almost took another one away. Stevenette driving. And he hits from the baseline. He's got a nice little game now with 18 points.
7 of 10 from the field. He's come to play. 6 rebounds last year. He's only 6'4", led the team in rebounds. Looks like he's going to do it again as a senior.
Karnowski left hand. He went about 11 feet up to get that pass. He's got great hands. Colley's shot is long. Karnowski another rebound. Stockton down the lane. Uses the rim and finishes with the right hand.
What a great job coming off that mid-pick and roll. Just freezing the defense, freezing that big just a little bit. Great finish.
There's another turnover. Gary Bell wants to line it up. He'll shoot free throws. Foul called on Damon Hire. And Hire picks up his first. That's the team's 7th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 7:47 to play. Gonzaga really putting the gas down now. They lead Southern Utah 82-45. Tonight's play of the game brought to you by Supercuts. Get in, get confident. Visit one of 15 local Supercut salons today. Supercuts, Gonzaga's #1 hair salon. Guy Landry Eddy in the first half. What a jam. We'll be right back. Here's tonight's answer to the Arby's trivia question. How many Zags picked on the preseason All-WCC team? The answer is 4. Gary Bell, Harris, Sam Dower, Pangos. And they haven't seen Karnowski play yet. I mean, and only St. Mary's. St. Mary's had 2. The others had 1 player. I mean, it's a dominating team in the West Coast Conference on paper.
Well, I think you talk about Shemek already. I mean, he's probably going to easily be the favorite for newcomer of the year.
And I know that whole first team WCC is weird because there's like 10 players or something, right?
I've never understood that.
But there can't be a better 5
only
in the league
in America.
Well,
right.
Everybody has to get a trophy these days,
10
right?
guys is 2 teams, so there's a first team.
I mean, do they give a participation trophy too?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still waiting on my plaque because I played in the league.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I mean, that's one of the things I agree. I just don't get. When my son gets old enough, I want him to earn a trophy.
Yeah, right.
You know, he earned a trophy last year in Little League Baseball because he was a good player, not because he was on the team.
Man, they mean something when you earn them. Richard, yours is in the mail, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've moved around a lot.
Triple team on Hire. Colley cutting through the middle and the lay-in. Landry Eddy 7 rebounds tonight. That's a career high. So his 15 points ties a career high. Sam Dower.
I think that was just a great possession. Patience getting the ball in the post. Sam had patience. We had cutters off it. Another cutter from the weak side. Sam just takes his time, goes and finishes.
Chessman. There's a nice jump hook.
What you can do, I can do better. Right back at him. That's the second time we've seen that from Chessman tonight. Pardon me.
Landry Eddy, 2 more. He's got 16, a new career high.
He's made a heck of a jump from his junior year to his senior year. You can just tell he's so much more comfortable out there on the floor. And if he plays like this throughout the year, he's going to pay big dividends for this basketball team.
Well, and I don't know going into the year if this season that you thought you'd get much scoring from that 3 spot. But like you said, Dan, he's so much better, not just tonight, but throughout this preseason. He's improved quite a bit, and a lot has to do with that confidence, that adjustment to the Division I level.
Bauer looking like Kevin McHale down there.
Oh, great footwork. Great footwork, Sam.
And for Southern Utah, just way too easy of a catch. And no physical play at all. I think Chessman's a little tired, and Southern Utah a little dejected now.
Stevenette now with 23 and a chance to make it 24. Drew Barham on the floor for Gonzaga.
You know, Stevenette has
picked up the personal foul.
Stevenette has scored in a number of ways tonight. You know, and the thing I like most about him is he's competed. You know, a lot of players will come into a situation such as the kennel, the bright lights, crowd getting after you, and he's played with no fear at all.
Hey, gentlemen, here's some freshman first games through Gonzaga's history. Kevin Pangos, his first game, scored 11. Gary Bell, 4. Adam Morrison, his first game, scored 10. Tonight, Shemek Karnowski has scored 16 in his first game as a freshman.
Well, we don't want to put too much pressure on him, but it shows that he does have quite some potential.
I just like the fact that he can move with the ball, can run the way he does. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of thought process once he catches the ball. You can see there's a lot of instinct in his game.
He's fluid for a big.
Yeah.
You know, he's not mechanical. Rob tried to fight it and get better as his career went on, but he's just definitely very mechanical in his movements. As you see a bad miss there, offensive rebound, and Mike Hart taking the charge.
Wow, big surprise. It's Mike Hart, right?
Just the norm. But for Karnowski, he's just so fluid. Like you said, he's got great hands, and we haven't seen it yet. But you ask any of the coaches, his passing ability is what has really impressed them. And I think you'll see that more as teams learn who he is, understand how big he is and how skilled he is. We need to start sending some help to him, and I think that's when we'll see some of that passing.
Well, when he starts to get double teamed, you'll start to see him throw out of that.
Yeah. He's a very unselfish player.
Well, the fans certainly haven't slowed down in here tonight. Under 5 to play. They want more. And here's a whistle. This is just the 4th team foul on Gonzaga this half. And they gave it to Dranginis. And the fans going crazy because Rem Bakamis, a freshman out of Longview, Washington, 6 foot 150, walk-on, replacing David Stockton. Number 15. Stevenette, one of his few misses tonight. Colley got the long rebound. And Colley will shoot it and connect. Colley now with 9 points.
You gotta go to work.
Shemek, left hand.
I mean, that is just unbelievable patience for a freshman down there.
I just think it's unbelievable, period, for a freshman down there. I mean, all the way around. He caught the ball, he made some dribbles, and then the jump hook with the left hand.
You know, you talk about differences from high school to college and college to the NBA, and there's a learning curve for every jump. He's seemingly speeding up his learning curve each week.
Foul called on Mike Hart as we take a look at Shemek Karnowski. He always earns himself a little space as well. Gonzaga up big. Time now to announce our tonight's player. The game presented by A to Z Rental. No job too big or too small. With 7 convenient locations, we rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Tonight's player of the game, Guy Landry Eddy. Career high in points and rebounds. with 16 points, 7 rebounds. He was 6 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 7 from the free throw line.
It was a top 10 play, so
yes,
all the way around, just a good night.
Yes. Julian Scott at the free throw line. That's why I'll always miss Jeremy Pargo here. Even in 40-point games, he was still good for those. Still gets you all fired up and aroused. And it's great.
I'm sorry, fired up and what?
God, it's amazing where your mind goes. Brent Guinness into the corner, but a foul called prior. Richard, I think you knew what I meant.
I did know what you meant.
Yes.
And I can understand it sometimes, you know. It's a good laugh. That's all right.
3:50 to play.
I can only imagine
Thank
had I said that, how you two would react.
Parham will shoot free throws.
I like the mask. Broke his nose in practice.
Kid can't catch a break. Keeps getting popped in the nose. Even right now.
That poor nose. You guys ever had to wear one of those?
No, I broke my nose once.
You were too
Luckily, I
tough
didn't
for
have
one of
to.
those
Yeah, I wasn't going to deal with one of those.
Foxy, you've had to have broken your nose. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty crooked. Thanks for noticing. Ruined my modeling career. I was about to take off until.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, you got great hands.
Yeah, my hand modeling career might take off then. No, I don't think I could wear the mask. Sometimes you don't have a choice, though. Depends on the type of break. Tough shot for Southern Utah. G continues to bring it defensively, and Southern Utah's lost a bit of that patience we saw the first 7-8 minutes of this second half. And you can understand a bit why with them being down so much as Gronowski gets another left-handed hook off a good post-entry pass.
Well, when he seals,
Barman passed that ball inside. Well, you can't let him. You can't be on his back.
If he seals you,
work around.
it's over with. He's gonna get to his stuff. So if you're guarding him, you have to do your work early and not let him seal you.
You've got to try to beat him to a spot, and once he gets there, you've got to try to deny the ball. Right now, everything's just guys sitting behind. You see right there, Scott just lets him get the post touch.
Jackson Stevenette now with 26 points for Southern Utah. Karnowski with 20. They lead all scorers. And free throws coming here for Kyle Dranginis. Got clarification on that pronunciation today. It's Dranginis, like the beer.
Well, for now, it might change. Come on now. How many names since we've been here have changed midway through the year? Oh, no, it's actually not that. That's not what you said.
It's not Ravio. It's Ravio.
Well, I just want to hear Shemik's full name, Greg.
Shemek Schwa Karnowski.
I like it.
Yes. Shemek Schwa. Shemek Schwa. Dranginis into the scorebook. It's been 41 games since Southern Utah has given up 96 points, and 48 games since they've given up 100. They didn't give up more than 85 a year ago.
Gonzaga's been awfully efficient, especially in this second half. They've taken care of the ball, but they've shot it much better in this second half.
Volley followed by Barham.
You know what, for Southern Utah, though, I think you can take away a lot. You obviously know what you have in Stevenette, and Scott and Cheeseman are going to be good post players for you, particularly in the Big Sky. Those guys work well together. But you just look at their roster, so many players this year, either first-time Division I players or guys who just didn't play very much last year on a team that was 14 and 17. It's a huge adjustment. Nearly their entire roster is shifting either in their roles and what's asked of them. And on top of that, you've got a new coach. It's going to take some time. But I think there's been some bright spots tonight for them that they can take away with them, you know, after the game.
Of course, they'll be seeing Eastern Washington a few times this season. Eastern down the road here in Cheney. The Eags are rebuilding. 2 minutes and 10 to play. Gonzaga leading at 96-62. Gonzaga shooting at 71% from the floor this half.
That's a good percentage. You don't let me say that. It's a good percentage.
There's what the Big Sky preseason coaches poll looks like. Southern Utah down there at number 10, but a lot of room for growth in that number.
Hey, if they play as hard as they did tonight and make some shots, you know, they're going to creep up a little bit higher than that 10th in the league right there. You know, they got a young coach who's come in, bringing his system, and there's always a bit of a feeling out process of buying into what the coaching staff is trying to do. So, you know, I look for better than expected things for Southern Utah this year.
They've played hard. They played hard.
I think they made a good hire. They're going to change that culture a bit. He's going to bring in a different philosophy after you have a longtime coach like Southern Utah did. It's going to be a period of adjustment, but I do think, like you guys have said, the future's bright for Southern Utah. And I think that move is a difficult move anyway, from Summit to Big Sky. There's an adjustment there on top of everything else that you'd have to deal with this year. It's going to be probably a grind, but you can see they've got some nice pieces that are going to grow and develop, and I think you have the right staff at the top.
Two minutes to play.
I think what this crowd is ready to erupt for is Rem Bakamis, putting him over the 100 mark.
They're trying to get it to the post. Southern Utah doing a good job filling lanes. What do we have here?
Defensive foul.
Foul called on Southern Utah.
On Hanks.
So Karnowski back at the free throw line. Sorry, Richard.
No, you're fine.
Shemmick started 2 of 6 from the floor. Since then, 7 of 9. And he's 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
That's surprising. He's got a soft touch. It's one of the things that they've said is he can make free throws when he puts the foul pressure on. So that's something that's definitely he's going to have to clean up.
Well, you know, Jerry Krause will have him at that line in practice.
Coach Krause is one of the best.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at so much of college and professional basketball is getting into this analytics and effective field goal percentage and rebound differential percentage. Well, Coach Krause has been doing that for years.
Bakamis. Hits the 3 from the corner. I like it.
Good for Southwest Washington, Rem.
Rem lined it up and nailed it. How about that? Richard, how many threes did you hit in your career?
Boy, it's hard to remember.
2? 0. 0.
I think I took one at GU, maybe a couple. I knocked it down the top of the key jump shot, but I never just took that last step back.
Rem Bakamis has more than you.
Did you get the stare down or the foot
fine with that. That's okay. I'm still going to sleep awfully well tonight. I'm happy for the kid.
You know, his dad, Bill, is a great coach in Southwest Washington at Mark Morris High School.
Oh, yeah.
He's been coach there for a number of years. And I played against his teams growing up when I was at Prairie High School, and he, to this day, will not take his high school back to my gym because Zach Gord, who played at Gonzaga with us as well, dunked it at the buzzer to win the game, and Bill Bakamis has forever refused to go back into the Prairie High School gym after that game. Every time we see each other, he brings that story up. Brings back good memories. For me, not for him.
We've got the official numbers. Richard Fox was 0 for 1 at GU from 3. Rem Bakamis
Well, you know,
is 1 for 1.
and that's just a great example of how I was handcuffed while I was here. I mean, there's no reason I should have shot 3 or 4.
Karnowski spinning and somehow got it to go and a chance for 3. Well, you know what it is, Richard? They saw you shoot it and they said never again.
Closer, closer. I actually remember that shot. Stanford down in Oakland, and I was preemptively thinking about that at warm-ups, and I decided that I was going to shoot it. So it's second possession of the game, and luckily Corey cleaned it up. Dunked the miss, but hopefully Bakamis gets quite a few more in his career.
That's one of the things you gotta love about the Gonzaga program. give a chance for walk-ons to come be part of it. But then if things are going well, they get a chance to play. They are made a part of the family. They're made to feel a part of the school.
There's an appreciation.
It's just a great environment and a great culture of basketball here at Gonzaga.
Yeah, there's an appreciation, even for guys like Backamus who may not develop into one of those walk-ons we talk about that ends up being a role guy. Kyle Bankhead or Mike Nielsen, Ryan Floyd. He may not develop into that, but he's still going to be appreciated within the program.
Possession arrow.
Well, the quick turnaround, fellas. Monday night, GU is going to be playing West Virginia here in the Kennel.
Yeah, it'll be a little different. Karnowski will be tested physically in that game.
Yes,
I'm sure he will go right at him there.
Absolutely. Real size, strength.
I'm sure Bob Huggins, their physical style of play, he's gonna really test the young Shemek Karnowski on Monday night.
Interesting. You don't see it very often. Their last game of last season was GU, and they're opening up, I believe, with GU this year. You don't see that very often.
Guinness with the rebound, and there'll be no shot taken here. And that's going to do it. Gonzaga starts 2012-2013 with a win. For Mark Few, it's his 343rd win as he begins his 14th season as the head coach at Gonzaga. Well, gentlemen, it's not just about wins and losses. Did this Gonzaga coaching staff see what they needed to see tonight, knowing that West Virginia comes up on Monday?
I think so. They had an okay first half. They were challenged, I'm sure, to rebound the ball much better in the second half. They did, but they also shot it much better in that second half. Very efficient game tonight.
For Richard Fox and Dan Dickow, I'm Greg Heister. Good night from Spokane. The Zags win it 103-65.